I am indeed William Smith, generally known as Extra Billy Smith. I did serve as governor. I've served as congressman in the state senate. Most of you, I know, were sleeping safely and sound in your homes this morning about 2 o'clock when no doubt you heard a terrible commotion. It was chaos and confusion, but we are here to hopefully be able to explain to you what happened and what it was you heard. I was just visiting here. My neighbors from Warrenton were in the Warrenton Rifles who were stationed here, and also the 2 cavalry companies are from my former congressional district. So I had just come up yesterday afternoon. I spent the night at the home of Mr. Gunnell right across the street there. So that is what I was doing here. The post commander was Lieutenant Colonel Ewell, and he will explain the military situation.
Well, yes, I am Richard Ewell, the Lieutenant Colonel in cavalry instruction for Virginia Militia at the moment. I served 21 years in the United States military. I graduated from West Point in 1840, and I worked in the 1st Dragoon in the Western Territories for the better part of the 20 years, except of course for the Mexican War, in which I took part. After Virginia, on April 24th, I resigned my commission. The very next day, I offered my services to the Confederacy and was given the rank of Lieutenant Colonel. And what you see here is my Virginia Militia combination with my Dragoon uniform. We, of course, do not have uniforms yet that were issued other than the Virginia Militia. I'm missing an epaulette if anybody sees it. I lost it last night during the skirmish. I threw my coat down, but somewhere along the way I lost an epaulette. So if you see it, please turn it to the good people of Fairfax, and I'm sure they will return it to me. I am here because I was initially stationed in Ashland, Virginia, and then I was transferred to General Bonham in Manassas, who is under General Beauregard, as you just heard a minute ago. And General Bonham sent me here to the Fairfax Courthouse to take charge of the cavalry units that were stationed here. And sure enough, I was staying in a hotel right across the street there. I had been on the scout the previous day, so I had not met the good people of the governor that the governor mentioned here.
Well, most of you probably recognize the map here. Of course, the hotel is right across the street there. The courthouse right here, which is, of course, this building. The wagon shop is just down the road a little bit, and the Episcopal Church. So this is the situation which, of course, as residents of Fairfax, you're all very familiar with.
And everybody recognizes the Little River Turnpike. That's as you go right outside here. That is the road that leads right by the courthouse here, of course. The troops that we have here are about 60 men under Captain Thornton in the Prince William Cavalry. They are staying with me in the hotel, and the stable is right next to the hotel where the horses are kept. We also have, with the Rappahannock Cavalry, 40 men under Captain Green, and the men are right here where we are standing now with their horses just outside. Your friends, the people you came to visit,
the Warrenton Rifles are about 95 men under Captain John Quincy Marr from Warrenton, obviously.
These are all raw men. I mean, they're all very dedicated to the cause, but no one has yet to fight, and some of them are not even armed yet.
About 3 o'clock this morning, as I said, you all heard the commotion, and what it was some unexpected and unwelcome visitors, specifically men of the 2nd U.S. Cavalry. We have determined that there were approximately 85 of them, and from several prisoners we took, we have determined that they were under the command of a Lieutenant Charles Tompkins. They came in the old Falls Church Road down through here, and then basically rode right through the middle of town, just firing indiscriminately.
We had set pickets out on the road, and as they came through, the pickets saw them and fired a shot.
Who goes there? The enemy is upon us!
And came running through the town to alert us, to alert me at the hotel that Union cavalry was on its way in. And we were getting ourselves organized. I had Captain Thornton with me, and he quickly left to find the Prince William Cavalry. Prince William Cavalry is not well armed, well trained. They heard what was happening. They were not ready for a fight. They got on their horses and they left.
I believe the military term is a strategic change of pace.
Strategic withdrawal, yes, sir. That's what it was. In the courthouse here, the Rappahannock Cavalry gets itself organized at that point. And the Union Cavalry then keeps on going down the street after the Prince William Cavalry.
Past the little stream. The Warrenton Rifles back here, they were several hundred yards away. Again, it was dark. They knew that up here on the main street, there was shouting, there were horses, there was firing. They did not know really what was happening, so of course they formed a battle line, ready for whatever the situation developed. And what developed was the Rappahannock Cavalry in here saw the strategic withdrawal over there and said, you know, that sounds like a good idea. They mounted up and they go down the road right behind the courthouse here. Now the problem is, again, it is pitch black dark. They are riding down here. Here is the Warrenton Rifles. The Warrenton Rifles know that there was fighting up there. It's dark. They hear the horses. They see the sparks from the stones in the ground. They hear the talking. They do not know who it is. They must assume that it is the enemy. So obviously they open fire, which is returned. So when I arrived, there were approximately 45 men just kind of milling around here in the darkness by the church. I came up and I asked, has anyone seen Captain Marr? No one has seen Captain Marr. If I may move a little forward, this morning we did discover Captain Marr's body. He had been killed either in the initial ride through or possibly in that friendly fire exchange. Now, Captain Marr was a friend of mine from Warrenton. He had graduated from VMI. He had served then several years at VMI as an assistant instructor. He had returned to his home in Warrenton and held a number of positions. He was an attorney. He was a clerk of the court. He was a superintendent of school. He was a sheriff, a prominent man in the community. And when John Brown raided Virginia in 1859, a number of communities organized militia companies. He organized the Warrenton Rifles, and he was the captain of it. There is no sign of Captain Marr, so I asked these 45 men, "Men, you all know me. Will you follow me?" And they did indeed know me. They were my neighbors. So we formed up and started up the road here, the road from Fairfax Station to Vienna, and we had marched up to about here, and I was kind of marching towards the rear when I heard this terrible commotion up the front of the column.
As I mentioned, I came out of the hotel and crossed the street. Wearing this coat, it could easily be confused by being one of the enemies coming through the town. Not wanting to take that chance, I took off my coat and threw it in the bushes there right across the street, which is, I suspect, where I lost the one epaulette that I'm missing right now.
And so what were you wearing under your coat?
Well, nothing but a nightshirt, sir.
Keep
So
that
it
in
was
mind.
difficult. I had nothing to show my rank or who I was, which is why when I came upon the troops and tried to get them organized, I tried to get them to line up and form up, but one of their sergeants would not do it. How dare you question my authority?
I do, sir, until I'm told or showed that you have the right to exercise.
Well, let me tell you, I was about to teach him a thing or two. When he responded to me like that, I'm a lieutenant colonel, and here's a sergeant speaking to me like this.
And
Thankfully, the governor is there.
he mentioned he is a West Point grad, and there must be special classes at West Point in the more emphatic and colorful areas of the English vocabulary, because I noticed that a lot of old
Cleaned
soldiers...
it up for you a little bit.
Yes. Well, I heard the commotion. I came up and I saw what was happening. I said, "Men, this is Colonel Ewell, our commander. Follow his orders. He will lead us." And
We
he
knew
did.
each other prior to the war.
Indeed. In fact, I had visited him some the previous night.
So we were able to get the troops organized finally and move on up. Company forward. Halt! And we came up this street here and made our left turn and came right down this street right here, made a left, came up, organized the troops in files as they came up, and sure enough, returning at that point, we hear cavalry. We're not sure what it is. It is still dark. It's not too long after the first ride through, so we halt our troops.
And remember, there had already been a fight between cavalry and infantry down here, which turned out to be our cavalry.
And the Prince William cavalry, we know, is somewhere down that way. So when we hear horses coming back, I yell, "Halt! Who goes there?"
Cavalry.
That didn't help a lot, did it? Cavalry. We knew it was cavalry, but they didn't. So my answer, again, I asked them to clarify, and I said, "Who's cavalry?" And at that point, the answer was a gunshot. One of the troops turned to me and said, "Colonel Ewell, are you hurt, sir?" But my answer to him was, "It is none of your damn business. Get back in the line." And again, I'm cleaning it up for you a little bit.
Indeed, very much so.
So he did get back in line and performed his duties as he should have. So as soon as that happened, the governor recognized the situation. I was hit, and he right away ordered the Warrenton rifles to fire on the cavalry. Fire!
They withdrew again. We marched down to about where the wagon shop is back there. I don't know how many of you get your wagons repaired there. They advanced again. I ordered the troops to fire. The enemy withdrew, took off, and they had a change of base. We held the town.
Virginia! And then we sent out for reinforcements for troops, which were at the time stationed at Fairfax Station. But they would not arrive until well after daylight, when everything was done and over. So by then, by the time they arrived, everything was done. So.
Now, I have not seen the Washington newspapers yet today, but I imagine their account would say that the Federal cavalry gallantly attacked a post of several thousand men and no doubt inflicted several hundred casualties. Really, as you can see, we had 1 killed, 2 wounded, 1 injured, and 5 captured. I did talk to 3 prisoners we had captured, and I suspect the casualties will be fairly even. Lieutenant, later Brigadier General Charles Tompkins is awarded a Congressional Medal of Honor in 1893. According to the citation, he twice charged through the enemy's lines and, taking a carbine from an enlisted man, shot the enemy's captain.
You received a Congressional Medal of Honor for nicking me in the shoulder.
For nicking you in the shoulder. Later on at 2nd Manassas, he gets his leg shot off, and that guy doesn't get anything.
Yeah.
Now, to give you
since we're in modern day,
we are, of course, there are 2 buildings remaining, the Gunnell House and the courthouse, again, right here, which has, of course, been built on. You have the bank over there, Truro Church. The Cooper's wagon shop is where the Wachovia is now. The second fire was down by Vinnie's Restaurant.
So by later standards, this is fairly insignificant, but by the time, at that day, June 1st, and the first few days of June, this made big news. Not just here, but throughout the state of Virginia and all over the North. This made big news. This is where the first real action took place.
And,
go ahead.
And if you look at the official records, this thing rates 5-6 pages of reports in the official records. Well, in 2 years, a little engagement where 1 person's killed, couple wounded, and a couple captured, maybe they would say, we also skirmished with the enemy. So
yeah,
it's no big deal in reference to what later comes. But it is the first battle, John Marr, the first Confederate officer killed in action. So it is, for us,
As a result of this, I had already been considered for promotion to colonel. But as a result of this skirmish, on June 17th, I will be named a brigadier general. The governor and I will again cross paths later in the military career. You will, sir, take on a commission.
End of June, I am commissioned colonel of the 49th Virginia Infantry. Governor Letcher was somewhat hesitant, as I am a mature man, having been born in 1797. However, I took command as colonel, and later in 1862, my regiment would be assigned to a brigade commanded by General Jubal Early, in the division commanded by General Ewell in Jackson's Corps. And in '63, I become a brigade commander. General Early has moved up to division command. General Ewell is now the corps commander, so I'm going to follow him around, as it were, for the next several years. And in 1864, I do become governor again.
Thank you very much for coming tonight.
Halt! Who goes there? The enemy is upon us! The enemy is upon us! To arms! The enemy is upon us! Wake up! To arms! Boys, march!
Pistols if you got them, roll. Pistols.
Men, you all know me. Will you follow me? Okay, line up, line up. Forward.
Rifle. Halt. How dare you question my authority?
I do, sir, until I'm told or showed that you have the right to exercise it.
Men, this is Colonel Ewell, your commander. He does indeed have command here. Follow his orders.
Thank you, Governor. Company forward. March. Company. I file left. March. Company in the line. March. Halt. Who goes there? Aim. Fire.
Men, ready. Aim. Fire. Low. Quickly, men, here they come. Fire.
on, men, they're running!